Intermittent fasting is not a license to continue eating badly. Do you practice intermittent fasting too? Why do you practice intermittent fasting? In this video, I want to highlight one of the biggest mistakes that people who practice intermittent fasting make. I want to address a major harmful misconception about intermittent fasting. If you're interested, watch on. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I am Dr. Chan. I'm a medical doctor from Singapore. My passion is in activating and empowering people to unlock the power of lifestyle and eating habits to prevent and combat diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and other lifestyle-related diseases. This shall be a short video on intermittent fasting. I am quite familiar with the topic of intermittent fasting because of my interest in lifestyle medicine and also because of my work conducting lifestyle and diet modification training programs, as well as my experience in helping and guiding my patients in my clinic to help them modify and improve their eating habits to better control and combat their diabetes or other lifestyle-related chronic conditions. But today, I'm not going to talk about the science of intermittent fasting or the pros and cons of intermittent fasting. I am not even going to talk about whether intermittent fasting is effective or not in weight loss, or whether intermittent fasting is healthy or not. For this video, I have only one very simple goal, and that is to crush this very harmful misconception about intermittent fasting that many people who practice intermittent fasting have. I want to highlight this very common mistake that people make with intermittent fasting, especially amongst those who have some success in losing some weight from practicing intermittent fasting. Recently, I saw this video by a very popular food influencer who has hundreds of thousands of followers on social media. I think close to 500,000 followers on social media the last time I checked. And he said something in one of his videos, something along the lines of, "Do you know how I keep slim and healthy despite always eating so much, despite always eating such obviously unhealthy foods so frequently?" As a food influencer, one of my secrets is that I do intermittent fasting. That was what this food influencer said. I was very disturbed when I saw this video. I was very concerned with how that message in the video would influence, whether intentionally or unintentionally, many people into wrongly thinking that practicing intermittent fasting can be their license to continue eating badly, their excuse to continue eating unhealthily, so long as they keep within the narrower, restricted window of eating of intermittent fasting. What do you think? And are you like this food influencer that I mentioned just now, that you focus mainly on, or even only on, just keeping to the restricted eating window without also focusing on what you eat during that window? Be it 16-8, 18-6, 24, OMAD, alternate day fasting, 5-2, or whatever other variation of intermittent fasting that you have chosen to practice. And are you like what this food influencer said he does, that you only keep to the restricted eating window of the form of intermittent fasting that you have chosen to practice, but other than that, you do not make much effort to be mindful of what you eat during that window? Or maybe even worse than that, are you just like what this food influencer said he was doing? You continued to knowingly eat badly, eat unhealthily, because intermittent fasting is helping you keep your weight under control, even though you were knowingly eating unhealthily. Allow me to say it very forcefully. Intermittent fasting should never become your excuse to continue to eat badly knowingly. Intermittent fasting should never become a license for you to continue to eat unhealthily, even if it had been effective in helping you lose weight or keep your weight under control. Even if you think you are generally in good health and do not have any serious health concerns right now because you are not currently having any known or overt medical conditions. But if good health in the long run is important to you, then the need to eat healthily, the need to be mindful of what you eat and how that would impact your risk of the control of diabetes, hypertension, high cholesterol, cardiovascular disease, and other lifestyle-related chronic diseases remains regardless of whether you are practicing intermittent fasting or not, regardless of whether you are exercising regularly or not, regardless of whatever else that you are doing that are supposedly good for health. The need to eat healthy remains. It does not go away. If we liken eating unhealthily to slapping our face each time we eat unhealthily, then practicing intermittent fasting without concurrently being mindful of what we eat, without making the effort to still eat healthily during that shorter window of eating, It's like saying that instead of slapping ourselves the whole day like we used to before, we are now only slapping ourselves for shorter hours in a day. A slap in the face is still a slap in the face. It will still bruise, regardless of whether you are restricting the slapping to a shorter window in a day as compared to before. A meal that is obviously unhealthy, obviously not good for health, obviously not good for minimizing post-meal oxidative stress, post-meal insulin or blood sugar spikes, is still a meal that will eventually contribute to poorer control of or higher risk of diabetes, hypertension, high cholesterol, cardiovascular disease, and other chronic diseases. So, intermittent fasting, putting aside the debate on whether it is effective for weight loss or weight maintenance, putting aside the considerations of whether it is safe, whether it is healthy or not in the long run, even if we work on the basis of the assumption that intermittent fasting is effective for weight loss, that intermittent fasting is helpful in reducing insulin resistance, or that intermittent fasting has other purported health benefits. Intermittent fasting should still never be taken as a license to continue to knowingly eat unhealthily. Intermittent fasting is not a license to continue eating in ways that are obviously not good for the control of the prevention of diabetes, hypertension, high cholesterol, cardiovascular disease, and other severe lifestyle-related chronic diseases in the long run. Eating unhealthily, albeit now in a shorter window than what you used to do before, is still unhealthy. So this is all I wanted to highlight in this video, that with regards to intermittent fasting, that one of the biggest mistakes that people make, one of the very harmful misconceptions that people have about intermittent fasting, is that just because intermittent fasting had been effective in helping them lose weight or in helping them avoid or slow down weight gain, they wrongly think that they can get away with eating badly, eating unhealthily during that shorter window of eating, that they are lulled into this complacency and not put in the necessary effort to change and improve the aspects of their eating habits that they already know are not healthy and which needed changing and improving to prevent and combat chronic lifestyle-related diseases. Intermittent fasting is not, should never be, an excuse. Intermittent fasting is not and should never be a license to continue to eat badly, to eat unhealthily. Regardless of whatever new health hacks that you have discovered or will discover in the future that are helpful in helping you lose weight, feel better, or even improve some specific health metrics, they do not and will never displace the need to do whatever you can to learn and practice an eating habit, a pattern of eating that is optimized towards preventing and combating diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and other lifestyle and eating habits chronic diseases. Intermittent fasting is not and should never be taken as a license to continue eating badly, eating unhealthily. I hope you have found this video useful. I am Dr. Chan and thank you for watching. Let's unlock the power of habits, one habit, one dose at a time. Take care and have a blessed day.